Hello all, good morning, good evening or good afternoon. Welcome back to this upgrade series that we are doing for Business Central 25. And you know the drill. If you have any questions which are related to this particular video, you need to add them into the comments. The links of Microsoft article and the PowerShell commandlet that we'll be using in this particular video will be available in the description as well as on the pinned comment of this video. Your feedback matters a lot, so please do share your feedback as comments, either good or bad, whatever it is. We would love to hear from you. And as you know, I've started a new company, so if there is a work related query, reach out to us at info@consulting.com. The details will also be in the description and pinned comments. Okay, so without wasting further time, as we discussed in the beginning of this year, that I'll be doing the upgrade videos to 25 because this is will become a stepping stone for your future upgrades, because for BC 26 you will have to come to BC 25. There's no other way that you can upgrade from a prior version, and that's the reason we're trying to explain how you upgrade from different versions of Business Central to Business Central 25. And the countries that I'm choosing is based on the top 10 countries who are watching the videos in this channel. So today we'll be talking about an Australian database with Australian localization and how we upgrade that. So if you have been to this channel, you will remember that our demo database always have a PTE available, which have three fields on the customer: the demo date, decimal, and this. Same on the vendors, we have three fields, and then there is a custom table. I guess there are two which have some data, just to tell you that how the data is retained. Now at the same time, because this is Business Central 20, we didn't had the company selector back then. You have to go to my settings to see that this environment actually have three companies. All three companies have the similar data, so the mark and test are copy of the Kronos Australian company, and the same data is available on the custom fields and custom tables in all three companies. Now in the previous video we took an environment which had very selected custom, but while I was looking at the extension management for Australia, it is pretty interesting that they don't have much extension. It's a list which is shorter than US and some other countries that we have done in the past. So in this example, we'll be taking all the extension to be bringing forward, and for sure the customer needs the new extensions also to be installed, which are available with Business Central 25.3. Okay, so let's see the preparations. On the preparations, from the product DVD, I've copied the 4 core apps which are needed for Business Central 25, and let me zoom this in if that helps to read them. To read you. So let me see if I can make them large icons. Okay. So these are my 4 core apps which are needed, and then these are the new apps which are part of BC 25 when comparing to BC 20. So these are the new addition to the product, and then the existing, as you have seen in the past, I split them on 0 and 1. 0 means that they only have core app dependencies, whereas the apps in folder 1 have dependencies on 0 apps, the apps which are part of the 0 folder. So based on the dependencies, these 2 folders has been created and all the apps are here. On top of it, we have the 2 publicly shareable PowerShell script which will be available on GitHub, and then 2 are in-house scripts which we don't share the source code yet. If that happens in future, I'll let you know. Okay, so without wasting further time into it, let's get into it. So the first part of the upgrade, and I'm not going to go to the article and all because everybody have seen it, but I'll put the link in the description. What I'm going to do is we are going to uninstall, and let me run this. we are going to import the model. Then we need to uninstall each and every extension that is available in my source version, which is BC20 in this case. And that unpublishing or uninstalling can cause some errors because of the dependency. So you will have to run this set maybe multiple times, twice or thrice. Once this is done, then we are also in this set also unpublishing the symbols which are unpublishing the apps which were in BC200, which is my source environment. And then we are also removing the symbols which are part of BC200 or BC20. Once all that is done, if you try to refresh the environment, it will come back with an error message because there is no extension available at this moment. At this point, we are good to stop the service. So we'll stop the service. As the service gets stopped, whatever we have to do from an upgrade perspective on BC20 is over, and now we need to move to BC25. So for BC25, here we are. Let me zoom this in. Alright. What are we going to do? Let me run the set and I'll keep talking about it. Okay. So what you're doing is come this side. Okay. We are converting the database, which requires the database server and the database name as a part of the script, and this converts the database to BC25. Now when the database conversion is completed, and I'll run the second set and I'll talk it through with you. Okay, I'll run it till here. Okay. So then what we are doing, once the conversion is over, we are setting up the service tier of BC25, where we are setting up the database server, we are setting up the database name on the service tier, and we are also disabling the task scheduler. Now this is important to disable the task scheduler because if you have job queues which may run during the upgrade, that may cause problems. So it's always suggested by Microsoft to disable the task scheduler. And then as we made some changes on the services, we have to restart the service. So we are restarting that service here. Now remember, if you want, you can import your partner license here. Not mandatory, because Microsoft have confirmed that you can actually upgrade an environment using customer license. If you do so, then you also have to restart the service. So these are disabled right now. If you're going to use them, you can just enable them. Once that is done, we'll run the sync nav tenant command, which makes sure that there are no destructive changes on the table schema, that there's no data loss happening till now in this process. While running this command, don't try to change the mode from sync to any other option. Let it synchronize, which will verify that it is making sure that there's no data loss during the sync statement. Once the sync is completed, we need to introduce our 4 core apps of BC25 into the environment by publishing them. So if you notice here, from my core app folder, I'm publishing the 4 app, and the sequence will remain same because of the dependencies of these apps. So your application depends on base, foundation, and system. Base application depends on system and business foundation, and so on and so forth. So I'm publishing these apps. Now publishing means that the new version of these extension, only these 4 extensions, the core extensions, will be available on my environment. Now once my 4 core extensions are available in my environment, as per Microsoft article, I also have to restart my service, which will happen in a while. Now, once that is done, I need to make sure that the 4 new apps that I'm introducing are not again making any destructive changes on the table associated with that particular extension. And how we do that? We do that by running the synchronization of nav app against that particular tenant But if you notice, there is a version parameter here, and this is important. You need to make sure that you specify the version parameter whenever you are synchronizing an app, at least during upgrade. The reason is very simple, because at this moment, after I publish these apps, my environment have the system base and application from BC20 and also from BC25. So to be very clear which of the app I'm trying to synchronize, I also have to specify the version of that app, not just the name. So this will make sure that the new apps that I'm being introduced are not causing destructive changes. Now people do ask me once in a while that why we are doing that, because these apps are coming from Microsoft and they'll not make a destructive change. That's correct. But remember that there is an upgrade compatibility matrix which talks about which app you can, which version or compatible version you can go to from A version of Business Central to a B version of Business Central. And that compatibility matrix is actually based on the changes that has been done into the application and how Microsoft have written the business routine for them. Yes, Microsoft cannot make any destructive changes as of this moment till BC25 because they have committed that there are no destructive changes and they will only mark those fields and tables as obsolete. But the sync confirms that there are no issues. And once you run the sync with the version tag, it validates that these apps will not be doing any data loss to your environment. Once the synchronization is over, which we'll run in a while, we'll have to run the upgrade of each and every app. Now in this section, you will notice that instead of saying I'm doing start nav data upgrade for 3 apps and for 1 app I'm doing an install. The reason is the app which is getting installed was not available in my Business Central 20. It was introduced in Business Central 24 if I'm not wrong, and that's why I need to install it. Again, the sequence of the steps remains same, because the base app, when the upgrade will start, will require a dependency on the Business Foundation. And because I cannot upgrade it, I'll have to install that app before I start upgrading my base app. So keep following the same order. And if you have questions, you know the drill. Just add them into the comments. And if it is about any confusion around this, I'll happy to answer those. So I'll wait this process to get my base app and application published. Once that happens, we'll run the sync and I'll resume the video. Till then, grab some tea. For the recorded video, it'll just be continuously running. So I'll pause it right now. Okay. So the publishing is over and the service is restarted. So let's start doing the synchronization of these apps. As I said earlier, it'll just verify that these apps are not doing any destructive changes on the table schema that's already existing. And if so, we'll see no errors and we'll be able to move past this. And then our step starts of update data. Now let's understand what a nav app data upgrade step does. So each extension that is being built contains its own upgrade routine based on the changes that has been made between a version to another version. The upgrade code is also part of the extension and that gets executed whenever you run the start nav data upgrade. So if the newer extension contains the upgrade logic, that will start running automatically as I run this particular step, which is start nav data upgrade. So all the apps that come from Microsoft, based on the changes that they have made from the prior version, have the upgrade logic, which makes sure that the data is redesigned or remapped to the new schema if required between the two versions. So every time whenever you are trying to introduce a new app, if that app version already exists, make sure to follow the same step, which is publishing, synchronizing the new version, and then start the nav data upgrade. Once that is completed, we'll run the platform upgrade, which is the start nav data upgrade, which will make sure that everything that was there is upgraded. And you can check the upgrade status with get nav data upgrade server instance, whatever your service name, and then you can do a detailed, and you can see with a, I like to see it in grid view. Okay, that gives me a very good view of where it has been run, what steps has been run, and what is their state and how long it take. So if it's a big database, it might take a while based on how much code is there, but this tells you is there any error. If there are errors, that are also will be listed here. Now you can run this command that I just ran in the middle of the upgrade, because as soon as you run the start nav data upgrade, it just finishes. But that doesn't mean that it's over. You just can check it from here, that what is the state of that step. Now this window does not get updated automatically, so if it's running for the significant amount of time, what you can do is you can close this and run this again to check the particular current status of that. Once this is done, we need to update the control ident for our Business Central environment. So let's, okay, I forgot to update this. No, I did update this. Okay, and let me get these control idents updated. Now control idents are those parts that you see in some areas of Business Central, in some role center, where you get charts and other things. So they need to be updated with every version. At this moment, you are actually will be able to access your Business Central version 25 with the 3 companies and the data that's available. But if you have seen at this moment, if you see in my extension management, there are only, you'll only find the core extensions that we have. So let's see, extension management, we only have our 4 core extensions that are available. And the other thing that you'll notice that now we have a company selector or choose company, available companies here. I can see that all 3 companies are here, but surprisingly when I go to help and support, I don't see that my application version, oh, it's already up to date. Nice. For Australia it got updated. In some cases it does not get updated, and if that happens, you have to make sure that you run the last step of it, which is setting up the application version. I'll run it in any way, so that if there is some mismatch somewhere, it kind of gets updated, and it runs pretty fast. When you read the documentation, it comes in the end area, so some people tend to leave it. Highly encouraged not to leave it. Okay, Saurabh, so we have the environment and we have the 4 apps, but when we saw in my Business Central 22, there were a lot of apps including a PDE, and customer also suggested that they wanted the newer version of app. Guys, let's do that. So what we come on to the second script, which takes every app that is in 0 folder and run the same 3 steps: publish, sync, and upgrade for all the apps that are in that 0 folder. So let's run this. What it's going to do, it's going and analyzing all the apps, and then based on the list that it builds, it is going to execute the 3 commands, which is the publishing of it, synchronizing of it, and upgrading that particular app. Now it can take a while based on how many apps you have. We had quite a few apps in that particular folder. Once we see this progress window not popping up so frequently, that's where it kind of starts. So now it started doing it, and you'll start seeing that the app is published, synchronized, and upgraded, and it'll also show you the name of the app that it is getting upgraded. So using this PowerShell script, we're able to upgrade multiple extensions without writing crazy code for each of these extensions. You just finding the app, checking its dependency, and they just started publishing these. Now, behind the scene, we're working on another script so that I don't want to create these two folders 0 and 1, and we should be able to sort these apps based on how many dependencies these have, and then kind of run that in one go. Now, I did got an interesting question into the comment on previous videos where somebody said, so for creating these 0 and 1 folder, does it take a lot of time? And I did check internally. We have a PowerShell script that helps us to do that. So we don't spend a lot of time. If you are still watching this video, we automatically run that PowerShell script, which kind of shows us, oh, which of these apps have multiple dependencies and which are the dependencies, so that we can still create the 0 and 1. At the end of the day, the idea is to not have 0 and 1 folder or 2 folder in this. The idea is very simple, that we are able to analyze that within a script. Now, like most of us, I'm not an expert in PowerShell scripting, but we'll surely reach there where we can do that. Once this is done, all these apps are upgraded. We'll run this onto the second folder where there are, I guess, 4 or 5 apps which have dependencies on these apps other than the 4 core apps that we saw. And as it is happening here, what you'll notice that if I refresh this particular page, you'll notice that the new apps that we are talking about, or not new apps, sorry, the upgraded apps that we are talking about are also getting visible here as they are getting upgraded. At the same time, because our custom extension is already here, what we can do is we can actually go to my custom page and see, did my custom data came forward as it is, or was there a loss of data? Okay, so we zoom this out and we have this demo code, decimal and demo date, which then converts, brings forward everything that was previously in BC20 now into BC25. Now, and same, let's check on the vendors. Did good on the vendor side also? Okay, so we also have the 3 fields and everything have a value. Okay, last but not least, let's check the custom table that we had before we start introducing new apps. So when you read the Microsoft article, it might look like that Microsoft is suggesting to publish all these different apps with the core apps. But as we discussed in this particular video, the upgrade path of apps is completely independent of the core apps or each other. They all get upgraded based on based on the app upgrade logic that is written within the app. So we don't have to worry about it. I guess it'll take care of it. So let's run this too again, and this time it is picking the apps which have one dependency or more dependencies than the core app, and they will get published, synchronized, and upgraded in this particular run. Now, because each app is different and there might be dependency, but they don't depend on each other for the upgrade routine. So that's why I was saying that even if the Microsoft article says that while publishing the core app, you should also publish all your apps, you can do that, but that's a very long manual process. And that's the reason we prefer to do it completely off. Once the Microsoft steps out over, we can run all other apps upgrade, because each app will have their own upgrade logic. Now, how I know that? Let's get into it. Let's get into one of the app, any app that, okay, let's go into the system app. if there is an upgrade routine. I'm not sure, I'm just trying it in front of you. So let's see, let me extract it. If this window lets me, okay, extract all, let's do it here. Okay, now it's extracting. I'm getting lack of words, but as it gets upgraded, extracted, we'll see that. While we're done with that, let's also install the new apps which are part of the new folder, which are introduced after BC20. So I can just quickly go ahead and run this. So while we are extraction process is happening, we can just check what's happening. So each of these apps or the app that we're talking about will also have an upgrade routine which gets triggered independent of any other app during when we run the start nav data upgrade. And that's how we know that this has been completed. Okay, saving a lot of time. Let me see whatever is extracted. I'll show, hopefully there will be things that I can show you. Okay, and if you need a detailed thing about it, let me know into the comments about the upgrade routine and how you should write it for your app. Let me know into the comment and I'll be happy to kind of showcase that into another video someday. Okay, let me see. Subtype, okay, is equal to upgrade. Okay, so here in this particular app there can be one or more upgrade code unit, as you can see, and these upgrade code unit are automatically ran when you run the start nav data upgrade. And this is what happens when you upgrade the system app. There is a Copilot capability upgrade which runs automatically and registers the capability. In the same way, email upgrade has a logic to add the retention policy and set email view policy. So these code automatically runs, and then there are these codes or tags which you can surely talk about if you guys are interested into a separate video. But these are the code unit that automatically runs whenever you run the start nav data upgrade step. So whenever you have to upgrade, 3 steps: publish, sync, and upgrade. In the sync and the upgrade, you need to make sure that you specify the version that you are upgrading to. Okay, let's go back to our environment. Let's quickly have a look into our extension management before I guess we end it. Is there anything else? I don't remember right now, but we'll tell you. Okay, extension management. So now if you see, the new apps are also part of it, and they all are available here as we are talking. And it hardly took us 28 minutes to do a BC20 to BC25. Yes, we did save a lot of time because of the PowerShell script that we have built in house, which are these 2 scripts. But otherwise it was a pretty straightforward upgrade. Now at this point, you know what need to happen. If you have any queries, suggestion, good, bad, comments, please add comments. Your comments helps other viewer to understand the quality of these videos. If you get anything out of this video, put it into the comments. Likes, hates, all okay, no problems. And as I said in the beginning, if you have any business requirements, we have started a new company, and you can reach out to us at info@adityaconsulting.com, and we'll be happy to help you with your business needs or your customer business needs. We work with partners seamlessly across the globe, and we surely work with customers directly. So this is Saurabh Dhyani signing out for today. And as you know, as I say every time, I'll see you sooner than later into the next video. Till then, keep learning and keep sharing whatever you're learning, because it's always good to share whatever you learn so that other people can learn from you. I'll see you sooner than later. Thank you. Have a nice day.